Did you know that just this week, Israeli airstrikes in Gaza have claimed the lives of at least 20 people? That's a staggering number that highlights the intensity of the ongoing conflict. The humanitarian crisis in the northern Gaza Strip deepened on Saturday as an Israeli bombardment killed at least 20 people, trapped thousands more, and prompted one of the area's last functioning hospitals to issue desperate pleas for assistance. Israeli airstrikes overnight and into Saturday hit the Jabalia area of northern Gaza, even as the Israeli military is also pressing ahead with its campaign in Lebanon, where it warned residents of 23 more towns to evacuate on Saturday. Roughly 400,000 people remain in northern Gaza, according to the United Nations, and many have been trapped in their ruined neighborhoods by Israeli airstrikes, which the military says are targeting Hamas and other allied groups. Doctors Without Borders said in a statement late Friday that 5 of its staff members were trapped in Jabalia, and that one of them had relayed that about 20 people were killed in an airstrike on Al-Yemen Al-Sayed Hospital. The Palestinian Health Ministry said that at least 49 people had been killed across Gaza since Friday, and that 219 wounded people had arrived at hospitals in the enclave. Israel's military has issued evacuation warnings for the area in recent days, but aid workers said the fighting made it difficult to follow those instructions. Nobody is allowed to get in or out, Sarah Voyle-Steep, a project coordinator for Doctors Without Borders, said in the group's statement. Anyone who tries is getting shot. Jabalia was once a large town with an adjoining refugee camp composed of dense urban dwellings that shared its name, but it has largely been destroyed by ground combat and repeated Israeli bombardments of the area since the war began last year after the Hamas-led October 7 attack on Israel. This past week, the Israeli military issued an evacuation order for the area, and a new one was issued on Saturday morning. Avichai Adraei, the military's Arabic language spokesman, said on X that the military was operating with great force against Hamas and other allied groups, and will continue to do so for a long period of time. The designated area, including the shelters located there, is considered a dangerous combat zone, he added. Jonathan Cricks, a spokesman for UNICEF in the Palestinian territories, described Israel's evacuation order in northern Gaza as extremely concerning because it explicitly warned that shelters would not be safe and included sites like Kamal Adwan Hospital. On Saturday, Gaza's government media office said that the hospital's intensive care unit was facing a catastrophic situation. The coming hours will be decisive for the lives of many children in the intensive care unit because fuel is running out and the occupation is preventing it from reaching hospitals in the north, and because of overcrowding, the media office said. Mr. Cricks said in an interview that he had visited that hospital 3 weeks ago, including its pediatric intensive care unit, one of the few left in the Gaza Strip. I remember seeing a baby, around 8 or 9 months old, whose body had been hit by shrapnel, he said. I'm wondering what's happening to that child now. These evacuation orders put already vulnerable children, struggling for their lives, at even greater risk. Israel has routinely struck areas of Gaza that it has described as safe humanitarian zones, and buildings that house displaced civilians, including schools being used as shelters. The Israeli military has said that such strikes are targeting Hamas and other militants who operated from those areas, using the civilians as human shields, which Hamas has denied doing. On Saturday, Mr. Adri, the Israeli military spokesman, also posted evacuation warnings for almost 24 towns in southern Lebanon, saying that Israel would strike them as part of its war against Hezbollah, the Shiite militant group. He accused Hezbollah of using ambulances to transport weapons and fighters, and said that Israel would strike ambulances if it believed them to be used for that purpose. We call on medical teams to avoid dealing with Hezbollah members and not to cooperate with them, Mr. Adrei said, adding that the Israeli military confirms that necessary measures will be taken against any vehicle transporting gunmen, regardless of its type. In its statements, Doctors Without Borders called on Israel to protect civilians and hospitals in the Gaza Strip and to allow desperately needed humanitarian supplies to enter the north as a matter of extreme urgency. Forced evacuations of homes and bombing of neighborhoods by the Israeli forces is turning North Gaza into uninhabitable ruins, it added. Wafa, the official news media of the Palestinian Authority, a rival to Hamas, said in a report on Saturday that Israeli airstrikes had also caused deaths and injuries in the areas of Al-Safatai and Al-Tawam, close to Jabalia. The news agency said the humanitarian situation there was deteriorating rapidly, with the military operations blocking the entry of food, medical supplies, and potable water into the area.